late afternoon, everybody. It's a very late afternoon today. But if you think about it, it's always a very late afternoon in Toycat Land. I think I started prematurely today because I didn't write my title correctly. But I'm going to start by saying, you know what? Chat, I'm going to hand you a freebie today. So usually, without any real consistency, like there's clearly something different about my hair or the lighting conditions. But usually, like, you know, one of the common criticisms I get is like, oh, why don't you take a shower? And usually that's like 6 hours after I've just showered or something. Today is, I think, the first stream I've done in like years, where it's, or the first time I've been on camera in years, where I am in fact, I am in fact on camera before my day's shower. I'm gonna be showering after this, I hope. I might not even. I might do it tomorrow morning because I got some things to be doing. But I figured I would share that with all of you, and then you can say, you know, do you look awful? Do you look good? Because if I don't look awful, then we can confirm it's entirely unrelated to the time. But if I do, then you know what? We can work that out. Congrats, you're so brave, says Ivor Crade. Thank you. That's what I really needed in this case. You know, it takes a brave hero to... Honestly, if you think about it, right? Okay, so this is one of those fun debates I have all the time. If by not showering, you know, if that was a thing you did. Because I've known a lot of people who just don't shower. Like, and like, you know, like that, they don't, like, it's a lot of effort, so they don't do it until, like, you know, it gets, like, drastic. Whereas most people I know, myself included, kind of have to shower every day. And I wish I didn't have to. I wish I was in that first camp rather than that second camp. But I'm in the camp of people. You look amazing, IBX. Toycat says Christian short. You know, I much prefer you to Christian too. That's for sure. But yeah, like it by not showering, are you really doing the, you know, like, are you doing yourself something bad, or are you doing something bad to the world? Because obviously, the people who have to deal with your smell, you get used to your own smell within like 2 minutes of it or something. Hey, Toycat evasion tax. Thank you so much, Mr. Ali Hand Rowe. Every time I read your name, I'm always like, you know, what if it's different? What if it's different? It's not different today. You look like exactly the same, says Poan Kiyu. Hey, thank you. Also, it's good to see you, cat. For what it's worth, okay, you know what, so, I want to go back into this, like, because, again, it seems like such an obvious answer question, but there's something more interesting to this that I feel like I missed there. But first, I bought some Bucks Fizz, solely because you mentioned that I could buy it outside. And I want to mention that because, you know what, there's a chance I'm going to be drinking some Bucks Fizz soon. That's my celebration drink now. You know, it's not just a Christmas drink anymore. It's the new celebration drink. It's been decided. It has been done. But yeah, I wanted to tell people this. This is one of those things, you know, in conversation, we like to act like all conversation's equally valid. There are some things that are, like, interesting to tell people, and there are some things you just say for your own benefit. Let me tell you something that no one cares about, but for my own benefit here. I've been trying to buy a house in closer to central London for, like, well over a year now. Yeah, I guess it was before COVID hit. I stopped because of COVID, actually. Oh my god, I was last looking at a house at, like, the start of the pandemic. Oh, man. It has been a while. Like, it was, you know, anyway, so it's been over a year, and, like, every house I like would just get, like, gobbled up. And, so I finally, because the housing market is, like, finally taking its downfall, which is awful if you're looking for a long-term investment, but if you're looking for a place to live, then it's great, because I intend to purchase a home, and it's like, I got an email from my estate agent being like, you know, you should know by tomorrow morning, which is very ominous. Like, it's not your house has been confirmed, it'll be on its way, here's confirmation number 625, but Celeb Bucks Fizz says Mr. Shoot 13. I like that. You know what, we're gonna rename Bucks Fizz. I by accident, one of the things I've done with my, again, I don't drink much, but when I do, I drink very sweet drinks. And I've noticed how many people like join in those particular sweet drinks too, which tells me either we have like a shared taste in sweet drinks, or, you know, I'm an influencer and I can influence your alcohol choices, am I right? And if that's the case, yeah, Bucks Fizz and Midori, what else do you need in your world? So, celebratory, Bucks Fizz, celebrate Bucks Fizz. You know what? I messed that up. Anyway, so, I'm super excited because I've been in this, like, limbo state for a week now of, like, there's this house, no one else wants to buy it, but I do, because I don't mind, the things that most people would see as bad about it, I see as benefits, and the things that people would see as okay, I see as good, or I'm fine with, you know. Like, anyway, so I want to just finalize that out by saying I'm gonna know soon, and I'm excited to. I think there's something interesting I've learned about the last week. Like I said, like I've been covered in issues of like these are out of my control entirely. You know, like I can't force someone to sell their house to me without spending an amount of money I don't have. You know, so something interesting I've learned from this experience of all these things is that like there are lots of things that are outside your control, and like if you're, you know, like one of the traits I don't like about myself is I think I'm very invested in control. I like being in control of circumstances that affect me where I can be. How's the beard going? Honestly, this says something about my personal hygiene attention. I've been my face razor ran out, and I bought a refill, but I bought the wrong type of I thought all razor blades were the same, but apparently they're different for each brand. So I bought the wrong razor refill. You know, like, oh no, you've bought there's DRM on razors to make sure you buy their companies. Anyway, you know, I'm dumb. I've never bought razor. I just wait. Okay. Every now and then I say something, I'm like, someone's gonna hate me for that. But every time my razors run out, I just buy a new one usually. And then recently I bought one that had 5 refills built in, and I was like, 5 refills? That's infinite. But now it's ran out, and you know what? There you go. Now you know. I don't know how buying just the blades works. Honestly, you know, I might go back to my trusty method of new razor every time. I think that's much better personally. Anyway, so yeah, I wanted to say disposables. Yeah, I used to be a big fan of disposable razors. Like, you buy so many for such a cheap price.
The IRS has been chasing me because I didn't pay my toy cat tax, so here it is. Please let me go home.
Thank you so much, Ryvin. You know, I will tell the IRS to stop chasing you. You'll be pleased to know. Now, one of the Harrison Gray. Good evening. I just finished streaming Desert Wells for literally 5 hours. Are you proud? Did you really? That sounds like a joke, but I could believe you actually did it, Mr. Harrison. That is a level of commitment I can't even understand. But I am proud. I would like you to have my proud ship right here. You know, do you have it yet? If not, it'll be there in 3 to 6 working days. Wow, that's incredible, Harrison. That is that is incredible. There's a lot of other things that it is, but incredible is definitely top of that list. Amandari, hey, thank you.
Tax.
I hope you're doing good today, Amandari. You know, I know it's probably just your last name. Didn't I have a bed here? I know it's probably just your last name, and we've gone over it before, and so on and so forth. The way these chests open is so smooth in this update. I just downloaded the update for my Xbox a minute ago. Oh, it's so smooth. The way the chest opens, like, oh yeah, that's so smooth. Oh yeah, everything opens like the inventory now. Oh, look how smooth the chests are. You know, why are we doing anything today that's not just chest smoothing? I'm just saying, we're doing we done bad here is what I'm saying. We've done bad. Okay, so we're gonna get back to we've got another shulker box here, by the way. We'll place that one down in the middle, and I guess it's mostly gonna be sandstone because we've already kind of filled up on sand. Yeah, we'll put the sand in the chest. That doesn't seem smart. We'll do it anyway, though. Sandstone in the box. Sand in the chest. Yeah, sure. But use a big piece of tape and remove it. No trouble. I know that's the concept behind waxing. Would it actually work? Anyway, yeah, Amanda-Ree. I like your names. Like, yeah, I'm Amanda. I'm a little Amanda-Ree. You know, I've mentioned that many times before, but I feel like basic impressions need to be mentioned more often. You know, one of the rude things we do as a world is we don't mention our first impressions to people, and then they never know how they're perceived. And that's like my 176th first impression. That's the joy of being a YouTuber. You have a first impression multiple times a day. The smooth transitions were way better than I expected. And when I was playing Minecraft last night, it was so satisfying. Yeah, I knew they were coming for a while. But I always just assumed, because of how buggy they were when they rolled out, I assumed it'd be like, well, this is not... But like, this is... The chest opening is just so nice. Anyway, so yeah, chests are smooth now, huh? By the way, how is everyone doing on this fine evening? I've been rude and talked about myself. I'm just kidding. That's what live streams are. So yeah, it's gonna be crazy, to me. Like, just I know my whole life is changing. I'm gonna have like a big little place compared to where I live now. Big little is an oxymoron, but I'm gonna have a bigger office. Right now, I literally have like. Because I have a bigger room than I use, but I have like just a desk I sit at, and it's a whole room. It's going to be a full-on room after this. You know, having more rooms, let me tell you about the dumbest thing that I realized too late in life. Like rooms are so good, not because like, you know, like, oh yeah, rooms are good because something, you know, when you enter a room, everyone has this, and it's so bizarre, but your mind like refreshes basically. Like, everything, like, changes. You know, like, you know the whole, like, when you enter a room and you forgot why you came into there? It's because of the sensory overload of being in a new environment. That's what I've heard. I could believe that was a lie. But, the thing I find so interesting is that is a bad thing when you're looking for something. It's a bad thing when you're trying to do something. But it's like a godsend if you're trying to, like... separate. What happened there, by the way? I tried to fly, and I just kind of hovered in midair for a bit. Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to just go back to the bed and hope the mobs have despawned. Hey, it worked.
I got my father to be a fan of your content. He plans to buy the same t-shirt.
He plans to buy the same t-shirt. Man, that'll be 2 t-shirts sold. There'll be 2 Christmas cats out there. Also, it's called the threshold effect, says Chantal. Also, thank you very much, Mr. Tisk Jesus Freak. You know, are you a Jesus freak, or is it ironic? Or is it not ironic, it's just 2 words combined? I don't know what that is. But yeah, like, when you enter a new space, your, like, brain, like, refreshes. And it's a great way to, like, help you separate, like... I know, I feel like relaxing is unironically very hard for a lot of people. It's not the hardest thing... Okay, again, it's not the hardest thing most people do. If it is the hardest thing you do, obviously, very, very happy for you. But I think a lot of people have a harder time relaxing than they think they do. It could just be me. It could be my, like, my neurological makeup does not equate to good rest, relax time. But, I have, like, a hard time, like, you know, I'm there, like, doing something, and I'm like, I should go do a productive thing. I don't know, I was trying to relax, and I went and cleaned my bathroom a minute ago. I don't even like, you know, like, I'll be sitting there, like, trying to enjoy myself, and I'll be like, you know, I'm gonna quickly just look up some house. You know, I know, like, there's some productive tasks and enjoyment tasks can get blurred really easily if you let them. Because you can enjoy being productive, and you can accidentally be productive while you're enjoying yourself. I mean, all the best ideas come from... Anyway, so... Also, yeah, I have a hard time. I've been thinking myself recently, says Pluto. I'm sorry about that. I think it's cool that you have a good enough concept for yourself that you can feel the difference. But I also think the trick is something, no smoking, something else. By the way, thank you, says Alejandro. I am glad that you agree with my point there. But no, basically, if I turn off all my senses and just think, that'd be relaxing to me. I don't know. So I enjoy thinking time, but thinking time is like... It's a special type of time. To me, again, like, the way I segment that is whenever I'm on a train, that's my thinking time. Or like a plane. planes, trains, and automobiles. That's why I kind of like traveling. Like you're doing something productive just by being there. So now no matter what you do, you've done something good. It's a really dumb, it's a really dumb way to trick your own brain, I'll admit. You know, it's dumb in a lot of other ways too, sure. But thinking time is a waste of time if it's done wrong, says Alejandro. I think the problem is if you start to think of thinking time as being... There's another Pluto, says Pluto. You know, I assumed that was you, and I was like, wow, this is a change of... This does sound very different. That is very interesting. Two people with just the name Pluto. See, that was such a coincidence that I didn't believe it. My brain is either too noisy or too empty. Having an empty brain is so boring, it's painful. Yeah, I totally feel that, right? Like, when there's nothing in there, it's like, you know what? There's nothing fun to that. Whereas the worst thing to me, like, this is literally one of the worst pains you know, like, this is a form of torture I would devise for someone else. Is, like, trying not to, you know, like, you just want to relax, and your brain is, like, basically yelling 1,000 different thoughts at the same time. And it's like, stop. We can deal with that tomorrow. There's plenty of, I've got a bowl of candy here, and I've got a movie. Let me watch that, you know? And it's like, no. Have you ever considered, I don't know. The worst is when I'm going to sleep, sometimes that happens to me. And I'll get, like, way too deep down you know, like, everyone has the whole, like, I'm trying to sleep and I can't because I'm thinking. But, like, that happens on, like, frightening levels sometimes. Anyway, so, Kat, do you think they should be adding more concerning fossils in lore? I think they could be. I was actually, I was working on a video about how they don't update existing structures enough. And I had a plan for the fossil, and now I'm gonna, like, specifically mention they already updated the fossil. Which I think is kind of fun. Happened last night, unfortunately, says Kat. Yeah, and the worst bit about bad sleep is, like, bad sleep not only affects your next day, that means it's harder to get sleep in all the following nights. And it's like, man, the deck is stacked against having a consistent way to sleep. To me, at least. Like, I think that's I know it's like, there's a lot of things where, like, everyone wants to do something, but the majority of people do the opposite of that thing. Everyone wants good sleep. No, everyone gets good sleep. Everyone wants to, you know, eat food that makes them feel good. Or, like, you know, let's say eat healthily to keep things simple. Everyone wants, you know, like, to have an enjoyable, you know, I know, everyone wants to spend less money, because the less you spend, the more money you have. Interestingly enough, the reason you want to spend less money is so you have more money to spend, usually, but we'll leave that paradox to the side. But there's like, things are hard, you know, our very instincts on lots of things go up against the real world in ways that are potentially challenging, I would say. What is this, the third time he's destroyed a desert? Oh, it's just the same desert, but it's like part 3. But, like, do you want to title a live stream part 3? Does part 3 make sense for a live stream? I mean, especially if, like, you're not here for the destruction, but instead for something else. And it gets too complex too quickly, so we just say, like, okay, let's not think about it too hard. Okay, let's place all the sand away. Let's place these ender pearls on the ground. Definitely don't need those in future. I have so many ender pearls. Everybody's looking for something. Yeah, I think it would be, I wonder what the world would be like. I wonder how would it be like to have a month where you had no real, like, wants, right? You could just do, you know, like, how would you pilot your brain if you didn't have, like, moment-to-moment impulses? You just, you know, okay, well, let's put it this way. An interesting exercise to me is if you could perfectly, you know, like, if you could just vanish and a month, you know, pass a month right now, but you decide every action that happens in that month. Funcat1, thank you very much for the £1 of free tip. Was that £1 of free? It's a very specific amount. I am in fact doing well. Thank you for asking. Like I said, I've been going insane at this whole, like, realizing that control is important to me, and that I'm currently going through lots of things that are explicitly about removing control from my life. Again, finding a way to, like, gel that is hard. When you've got two entirely opposing thoughts, you know, like, one thought is like, I want to enjoy myself. One thought is like, you know, have we considered looking, you know, like, have we considered looking up, like, let's see what my last Google searches are. They're all dumb. I searched up calories in spinach, apparently. How many calories are there in spinach? 23 per 100 grams. Wow, that's fun. I looked up stop plant-based censorship. I looked up Costco membership price America. You know, it's like, I didn't need to know those things. I'm gonna be real with you. I love your videos, and what's your opinion on Minecraft having seasons like summer and winter? Summer is a cute name for a Minecraft character. Winter is a cute name for a snow fox. So, that's what you meant by seasons, right? Now, as far as, if I could add seasons to Minecraft, and believe me, I wouldn't. I think that it would be... I think it's like a good idea on one level, like adding more long-term timescales to the game. But like, isn't a part of Minecraft's beauty that you can do anything any day? Like, kind of messing with that should be minimal. Like, that's why we don't have natural disasters and weird events you have to wait for. I even think waiting for thunder ruins a lot of Minecraft's fun. I think some people disagree about that one. Calories and spinach, not enough to matter unless you have an eating disorder. You don't know what eating disorders I do and don't have. I can get an eating disorder. Just you watch. I would even say no. I'm not gonna do it. Also, I got fired. Bright side, I can watch all your live streams. Says James JT Judd. Hey, congratulations on being fired. See, this to me, it's like the divorce thing where it's like everyone's like, oh, this is sad. Now you have an opportunity to get a job that doesn't suck or sucks less. Seasons would be like waiting for thunder, which sucks as Brody proved. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. Like it's already like enough pain. I don't want to like add to the pain in the game. I always skip thunder in Minecraft. I don't want charge creepers in my world. See, right, and like the best rare events are the ones that would be like that, where some people want to skip them, some people want to skip to them, and Minecraft shouldn't be about skipping and or not skipping things, in my mind. I mean, I'm obviously not a Minecraft game designer. Biome that has 4 seasons in one day, the Canada biome, says Nerd Waffle. I love how every country has some variation of like, you know what? The weather in insert country here is so unpredictable. And then like, what I love to do is I like to like tell people that, and they're like, yeah, so you know everywhere has like that same thing where like, yeah, the weather's unpredictable. And they're like, oh no, but it's like, it's especially here, you know. The weather does change a lot. That's crazy. Not funny. I went through anorexia as a teen and in 20s. Luckily I'm alive and it was 2 decades ago. I did have a phase. Lucky it was like, it was really, really, really short. Where I was like, you know, I like, you know, like, calories in, calories out. However, if you don't absorb the calories, they don't count. And it's like, so you just throw them up and then that's the magic solution. I didn't stick to that path for long, thankfully. You know, everyone says, okay, no, I'm not advocating for bulimia. But, okay, can someone explain to me why that is like, assuming, besides the whole, like, probably putting acid in your throat frequently, not good. Okay, is that the only downside to bulimia? Because otherwise, like, if it could be a valid solution to other problems. I don't think it is. I think it's better to not need to do either. But, like, if you... Do you get what I'm saying here, chat? You know, this is... Toycat advocates for bulimia. It's not what I'm trying to do today. I am trying to say, good luck if asparagus. Thank you, Alejandro. I love asparagus so much. Like, so much. I didn't realize how much I loved asparagus. But I do love asparagus. Honestly, one of those things, one of those, like, internet memes that you tell young guys to help them understand the adult world is, like, you think you hate vegetables, you hate how your parents cook them. And that's like, one of the truest things. There's a bunch of... All the vegetables that weren't tainted by, like, having been cooked by my parents are amazing. I like asparagus a bunch. I like broccolini. Broccolincini? I don't know. Also, what if there was a ritual system where something like beacons, you could sacrifice rare things to influence the next day's weather? Too much? I would like, honestly, I think, first of all, weather should be influenceable. Like, I would say, yeah, take a step back. Rather than trying to make more random events that you have no control over, do it that way. Also, the acid wrecks your teeth, too. Okay, what if you had, like, okay, so where's, okay, so it's all about teeth and your throat. But, hypothetically, if you had no acid in your stomach, which no one does, and again, to clarify, if you are thinking of throwing up your food instead of eating it, just don't eat it. Like, that's step one. Although, also don't not eat, but like, you know, get a doctor. Doctors can give you diets that will meet your goals. It's crazy to me that doctors can give diets, but it's a real thing in most countries. Like, just go speak to one. It's free unless you live in countries where it's not. And even then, it just costs your parents money. Whatever. They've got money. You know, they pretend they don't have money all the time. Your parents have money. It's fine. You can go to the doctor, get them to make you a diet or whatever, instead of throwing up. But if you did, so I can't look up Karen Carpenter aside from mental dam, as it causes heart failure, it ruins your teeth. Oof. Yeah, no, I once had a. I'm sure I've told the story. I threw up like 25 times in the space of 24 hours. And I remember, like, it was the most empty I've ever felt my stomach. Because, like, I would drink water and I'd have to throw up that water again. And it would just be water in and water out. Like, it was the craziest thing. That, like, I had emptied my stomach to it. Also, Tokidax, also waiting for a live stream saying draining an ocean says Palpatine sour. By the way, I could be wrong. I think you sent me an email that's, like, been sitting in the whole, like, I should get round to doing this soon. Pile. So I assure you, don't worry, it's going good places. A doctor once told me to eat 12 eggs in a day when I was 13, so maybe not. Yeah, I'm not, so, one of the things I hate so much, that I wish this wasn't my opinion, I want my opinion to, like, this is what I want this is what I want to be factual. I want every doctor to be objectively right. I want, if you disagree with a doctor, for you to be an idiot, anti-vax, you know, whatever. But the thing I don't like is that, like, everyone has a story of, like, so my doctor told me to do this, and it was real bad, and so I went to a different doctor, and they said, yeah, that other doctor was crazy. And I wonder, like, how many crazy doctors are there, first of all? And then I also think, like, yeah, I'm gonna be doing this. Like, one of the things I'm excited about moving is I can get myself a new doctor finally. Every doctor around me is, like, maxed out in patients, you know, joys of the healthcare system here. And my doctor just shrugs off every problem I give her because she's so oversubscribed, and I guess some people might actually be dying, so, like, whatever. I understand why she's bad at her job, but glad you're here, Toy Cat. Thank you, McBella78. I'm glad I'm here too. Again, every time I think back and I'm like, whoa. Whenever, like, most people think of near-death situations as, like, if I had done a thing, I would be dead. It's crazier to be in a situation where it's like, if you know, like, by nothing inside my control, I could, like, statistically, could be dead here on a very high chance. You know, like, oh yeah, if I'd have just stepped one more step forwards when there was a car in front of me, I would be dead. You know, it feels like the same kind of thing. It's interesting that, like, it all has an effect on you. That it all reminds you, like, yeah, life do be something you've got to hold on to, huh? It's precious. Also, I do think that the British healthcare is fantastic. What are you on about? It has no flaws at all, and all equipment is in full supply at all time. See, I want to like our system too. Like, I'm a big proponent of the idea that, like, again, on an individual level, over a lifetime, you can make decisions that should be on you, but especially but the nation's health problems, let's say, are, like, you know, that's one of the few things I think is objectively done better as a collective. 9 out of 10 doctors agree that yes. Toycat is yes. The 10th died in a house fire, says Sophie Scapes. 10 out of 10. Very good. Clap, clap, clap. I love it. Big fan. Would like to read again. Thank you, Sophie Scapes. I hope you're doing well today. Unless you're not doing well today, in which case I hope you make that well. You know, why aren't you doing well? You disappoint me. That's what doing well is all about. It's about making the cat man on the internet happy. Why is he not happy? Like be doing the life cycle sometimes though. Yeah, like I don't understand how it's possible for some doctors to be so bad. Because it's like, but aren't you like trained really long? Also, Zudaken, thank you so much for becoming a channel member. Welcome to, wait. Let's see what the number's at now. It's probably outdated again. 647 apparently. We're nearing a return to 650. TSK is my initials and Jesus Freak based off my Christian song back in the 90s. Yeah. Also, 689 is a Christian reference of a particular document. I'm gonna look up, I'm assuming that's the Lutherian, you know, like Martin Luther, but not the King version, the German version.
TSK is my initials and Jesus Freak is based
Baptist
off
Church.
a Christian song back in the 90s. Also, 1689 is a historical Christian reference of a particular document.
I do love particular documents. Never let it be said that Toycat is not a fan of documents. Can't wait for 666. Can you do a stream where you drain the sea with sponges? You know, I'm getting more and more tempted every day, and then I think like, that's a big commitment I'm gonna get myself into there, huh? Then I think, you know, I've committed to bigger, and I think, well, doesn't mean I should, and I think, well, you know, maybe I should, you know, it's a cyclical. Oh God, I finally let go of all the sand. No. Well, that's fine. Didn't want to do that, but I guess I have now. I was cursed because I committed Toycat tax fraud, says Haunted Zombie. I'm very sorry about the curse. However, you know, the TRS, the Toycat Revenue Service, has been looking for some new sources of money recently. Yeah, no, I was really stressed. Like, one of the craziest things is like, I've been like speaking to some, you know, like lawyers who will pay all the legal costs. And one of the biggest legal costs is like, you gotta pay the government when you buy a house in the UK. And, so they like, I guess I'd been miscalculating the whole time how much it was. Cause I was like, oh, it's gonna be like X, like five figures, but like not deep 5 figures. And then I got my first quote from one, and they were like, it's this amount. And I was like, oh, they must have made a mistake and not included that. And I was like, oh, that's with a temporary tax break that will expire just before or just after. And it's like, oh my God, the amount of money. Like, seeing someone, like, I don't know, I guess it's gonna be the same when I purchase the house. Like, there's very few things, like, I guess a car is more expensive than anything else you buy, and then so is a house, and then what else is there? Like, you know, I've always had the reaction of like, things are expensive, I should not buy them because they are expensive. But like, you meant to just be like, oh yeah, so, you know, government wants, again, I don't want to say the number because you can calculate the house value from it, but like, they want a number that starts, is in the 5 digits quite deeply, and it's like, ah, they do, don't they? Also, thank you very much, Mr. Techno Gamer with the 69. Deep fried figures. Deep fried figures. That's what they wanted from me. They wanted deep fried pictures that I just could not provide. I know it's one of those boring adult things. I don't know how to like share it in any interesting way, but like the changing in what amount of money is crazy to you is so interesting to me. My granddad left for a holiday and gave me, I want to say £2. And I was like, whoa, so much money. And before that, I remember I once got, I always thought this was like the nicest thing. This is like the nicest thing I feel like anyone had done for me at that point. So like, let's go back. I remember once I got 20p and I could pick all the penny sweets I wanted. And I was like, I can pick 20 penny sweets. Oh my God, I'm big to, you know, like, yeah, that was the first time money made a big impression. Then there was this really dumb trend. I think they were called superstars or something. So you know how in American media there's always baseball cards? In the UK we have soccer or football cards. I got really into them even though I didn't have like a source of money. You know, my parents didn't have money. And I remember I said something like, okay, you know what? You paid me 50p to hoover the whole house once. what can I do today for you, grandparents? And my granddad was just like, oh, and how much is a pack? And I was like, 35p. And he's like, here's a pound and 5p or whatever. Get yourself 3 packs. And I was like, really? You don't want anything from me? You're just giving me a pound? I saw someone say once that $10 is like an adult $1, and oh my god, they're right. I would say it's gone a step further. Like, every time I, you know, like, especially when it's literally just, you know, you sometimes, I don't want to ever disparage any type of tip. This is just me saying this is a particularly nice thing. Like a particularly interesting thing to me. When people are just like, yeah, there was a tip train going on or whatever, and like, there's no message attached. They're just like, here's, you know, $2 or whatever it is. And you're just like, wow, that, you know, that was just a nice thing. But then, like, so after, like, once I got £2 from my granddad, when I was going on holiday or something, then I think I got £5 for a birthday, and I was like, I am rich now. I can never run out of money. This is gonna last for so long. I bring you this from deep in the Toycat archives. Dig, 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 trio, trio, trio. Yeah, I had that stuck in my head for so long, and now you're gonna put it right back in there, Mountain Man. Dig, 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 trio, trio, trio. Anyway, I think it's interesting that, like, so like that, then £5 was a big thing. I remember the first time I held a £20 note, I think the first time I saw a £20 note, it was like unobtainable. It was in one of those machines. And I put a lot of money in there trying to get it, which in retrospect, I spent lots of money and didn't get any. But the first time I had a £20 note was like, ooh, yeah, I am made. And then, can you tell my friend about the very real risk of dying in a house fire who doesn't subscribe to IBX Toycat? I can tell your friend he will die in a house fire. Not he might die in a house fire. Wouldn't that be nice if it was only might? No, there is a serious locked-in component to this. It is sadly just a guarantee that we can do our best to fight, but we can only do so well, Mr. Unholy Banana. But well, you kid who spent all the money on sweets, so just save every single penny. I can picture you as Eva. So this is one of the things I would say I'm very naturally like a saver, in the sense that I think the #1 thing money can buy you is the ability to buy things with money. And that, again, it's a paradox in itself that if you don't spend money today, you have money you can spend tomorrow. But if you don't spend money tomorrow, you have money to spend the next day. If you buy something today, you know, like if you just want the thing, then you buy the thing now. But if you value the fact that, you know, like the biggest thing that money gets is financial safety and security. Me knowing that knowing that during the whole COVID crisis, I wouldn't be evicted because, like, you know, my mortgage is X amount overpaid, and, you know, like I have X number of months saved up so that even if everything collapses, I've got like a little bit. That is such a value that people don't think about. Like when people, yeah, again, like nowadays, if you see like £1,000, maybe you think like, yeah, it's a holiday. I think like, oh, that's like £1,000 between me and nothing. What are the different US states you've been to? Says Sam Maynard. I think I've been to 16. There's a second channel video where I show every country and state I've been to. It hasn't. It's only got Turkey added to it and Hawaii since last time, because and also Georgia. I went to Atlanta last time I was in America. This time I'm excited. I'm going to Washington, Seattle for the first time. It's going to be exciting. I'm seeing some Minecraft related things, maybe. Who knows? I wanted to think, like, what I think I'm naturally like built to be a saver, but also I grew up in an environment like this is a funny story I like to tell about my brother. But like, so if we both had like, you know, a plate of food or like some sweets, he would like finish his first. He would eat extra fast, and then he'd be like, "It's unfair that you have some and I don't." Never like, because you ate it. And he's like, "What matters is that you're not sharing, and like, so." And then he would get some of mine, you know, like it's. And it's funny because he said, I spoke to his girlfriend and she says like, he does that to me too. I find that hilarious. But anyway, but like also like, I've also mentioned like, oh yeah, my mother would need to borrow money from me. And like, of course you can't turn someone, if they need the money so bad that they're asking, then you can't turn them down if you have it, but you can turn them down if you don't. Like there is literally a thing. This is one of the saddest things about poverty to me. Like I feel this like on a first-hand level almost. Not to the same extent. I'm very fortunate, but like if you don't have much money, it's better to spend it now because there's so many things that can take it away from you. An unexpected bill, you know, someone who desperately needs it, you know, from you. Like those things you will literally have more money if you spend it now as opposed to later. Whereas if you come from a wealthy background, you'll know that more money you have now will save you more money later. Like, I pay my house insurance yearly, and it saves me like £12 a year or something. It's like 10% cheaper to pay it yearly rather than monthly because they charge you interest per month. It's crazy how much cheaper that is just because I'm lucky enough to have £100 lying around. Instead of having to pay £12 a month. Also, if you're in Seattle, you have to go to the Minecraft exhibit at Mopopo. I went last week and it was super cool. I'm so mind blown that America is like actually open and not in the like, oh yeah, I'm bitter that people are enjoying things and I'm not. I'm in the phase of like, how is everyone doing fine there? While like, you know, we're in like you know, I'm like, I'm jealous in a way that when I say I'm jealous, people are like, oh, yeah, well, you know, that's some. It's like, no, I trade places with me. You stay at your home for 4 months of the last, you know, like, I've been in the UK for just under 6 months, and I've had 19 days I could go. It's like, well, how is this, whatever. Anyway, Toycat has outbreaks about his concern with the direction his country is going. Part 10. The mask mandate in my state ends in April. Oh, okay, you know, that's a really interesting one to me. Because I saw a bunch of people being like, yeah, these companies are showing the state who's boss by having mask orders anyway. And it's like, that's the point. A mandate is like a requirement, whereas you know, there's an interesting difference we forgot in the last year between, like, okay, here's an interesting thing. I hate people who are like protesting right now. Like, you know, if all the times to protest a thing, you know, like, is now the best time? But also it's like, I think that's like someone's right to do. I think one of the things I've learned so much over the last year are there are things like I hate people doing and I don't want them doing, but that I want them to have the right to do anyway. You know, like, you know that quote? It's like it might even be from The Simpsons or something. It's like, I don't agree with you. I would die for you. I don't agree with your opinions, but I'd die for your right to express them or whatever it is. I feel like that over some people I really despise doing some things I really despise. It's like, yeah, but one of the things I've learned is like, one of the things I guess I'm glad we had this situation for is to realize that like, also, should I switch out to a pickaxe? Let's switch out to a new pickaxe. We'll use this one, because it's probably going to be about the same mining speed, right? Oh yeah, literally the same. Or maybe a little bit slower. I'm gonna use my repaired pickaxe to make chat a little bit less chill. But some protesting is good and some is bad. Yeah, it's one of those things where like there are very few like protests from like, this is a good thing. You inconveniencing as many people as possible. It's great. And then it's not even just inconvenience people. It's like, oh yeah, also because of pandemic, it's like this protest is literally costing X number of lives. But also it's like, I don't agree with them being suspended. Like in the UK it's currently even now even when the lockdown's over, the protest thing will take a while to come back in. It's like, oh, that's scary territory. That's like, you know, you always want to have the option there. You but like there's a bunch of tiny things. I'm like, again, I think there's a difference between laws and what we want people to do. Like, don't you think it's interesting this and again, some people disagree with me, and that's another illuminating thing, like morals being different person to person. Again, we talk about it all the time, but like this is what I thought was like my big hill to down. Like, yeah, we can trust people to do the right thing. Everyone disagrees with me. The last show has proven no one has any trust in other people to do the right thing. The people only do the right thing when mandated is the widespread opinion. Like, it's not even like, oh yeah, it's like some people, like it's like the majority of people are now on that page. Watch people have protests. They're basically screwing over everyone. Says Krill Total. Yeah, right. Like I really don't want them to. I would like them to not be doing it, but also I don't think that everything I wouldn't like should be illegal. And it's really hard to come to grips with that position, because it's so much easier to say I don't like, like, I don't know, I don't like, I don't know, what's a thing I really, really dislike. I don't like, you can hate me for this. I don't like jacket potatoes, which I think is only the British term. Are they called jacket potatoes elsewhere? Anyway, so I hate baked potatoes. I don't like them. I don't want them anywhere near me. Every time I see them on a menu, I'm upset. Same with, there's a bunch of gross fishes out there. Like, there's like 2 good fishes in the world. There's like tuna, there's salmon, and what else is there? Tell me any other good fish. I'm probably missing some, but like, I don't like those things, and they're gross to look at. If they didn't exist in the world, I would be happier. But it's also like, it's really hard to come to grips with like, but I want people to be able to, even though I despise their choice of. Okay, so cod, I'll give you cod, but cod's flavorless. It only works because it's like tradition, I feel like. Trout, not giving you that. Mackerel, not giving it to you. Salmon and salmon and salmon, exactly, there we go. Scallops, not a fish in my mind. I bet they are, but they're not counting. Tilapia, I've never had tilapia. Oh, maybe wait, let me Google tilapia. Tilapia, I feel like it's Mexican with no good reason. Tilapia. Oh wait, I have had tilapia. No, it tastes like nothing. Like, it again. If you're gonna eat animal, at least get some flavor from it. Otherwise, you're just eating like protein bar. Like that's what tilapia are. Tilapias are protein bars, and it's like, we can eat the ones that are actually, I don't care about fish. They are meat carrots. It is widely known. Lobster is the best fish. No, lobster are sea cockroaches. They used to be seen as garbage tier. We made them fancy societally. I always have to bring that up. Swordfish, no. Catfish, I had fried catfish in America. And again, it comes under that category of like, it tastes, I think it would be better if it was tuna or salmon. Anyway, so I disagree with all of chat. It's not tilapia, is it tilapia? Tilapia. Anyway, so I'll look at my shovel, by the way. Should we shovel some more sand? I reckon we should. I reckon chat likes that. Also, heard of salt. Fry any fish and it'll taste good. Yeah, on it, I actually totally agree with that, but it's like, it's because the fry tastes good, not the fish, I feel like. It's like fried chicken, you're not there for the chicken. You're there for the fry. Also, I'm going on vacation in a few days.
I'm going on vacation in a few days. What is your #1 piece of advice to stay safe?
Okay, so, I'm assuming you mean internationally? Unless you don't mean internationally. It's hard to, see, nowadays, like, safe means, like, virally safe, but also it means, like, stay safe from men with guns who want to harm you. Safe, right? It's kind of hard. Hush puppies. I have no idea what hush puppies are. Aren't they a brand of shoe? Anyway, my whole thing is just that I dislike all of those fish types I just mentioned, and I would be happier were they gone. I have no reason to want you to eat them, because I think the more fish farming that happens in the world is generally worse than less fish farming happening. But at the same time, I don't say that no one should be able to do it, because, I'm able to. Also, look at this chat. Oh, my shovel's almost broken, but I'm mining sand. Oh no. Oh god, it's scary. Actually, let's mine all of this just to be safe. Yeah, I thought the super chat was asking for your number there for a second. Yeah, I read, that's how I heard it. I was like, what's your number? Okay, wait, where are you at, Mandarin? Do you mean safe? Do you mean safe like the physical safe? Do you mean safe like germ safe? And where are you going? Because those answers, like, otherwise I can just say my number one tip to stay safe is to avoid all human contact always. That's my life pro tip. Yeah, actually, yeah, I'd say that applies to life. Like, there's a lot of parts of life where you can. Fish are one of the least ecologically harmful food to produce. I bet there are some fish that are like, you know, because these are other people and they're eating fish I don't care about. I bet I could say, yeah, but as King Toy Cat, I want to dictate that people should only eat the fish that are least, you know, like the one that's best for me, i.e. the one that has the least impact, or don't eat fish, or just die. I don't know. It's really interesting having to like confront the idea, having to confront people doing things you don't want them to do, and then saying, "Go on, keep doing it." Not on a personal level. I hate what you're doing on a personal level, but on a legal level, I disagree with that guy's right to stop you. You know, and I guess like that's the one good thing I'd say that's come from that. Like having like direct examples of people I despise and hate and would look at and go, yeah, but like you're on you shouldn't. That's not okay. I don't like what you're protesting for. I don't even like protests because you're gonna slow down my day very slightly. And also you're going to kill some fractionally large number of people.
Not get mugged, lol. I'm not traveling internationally, just going to the beach for spring break.
Oh, okay, so the easiest way to not get mugged on the beach is to not have anything worth mugged. So, okay, there's like 3 levels of security we can go for on this one. As a paranoid person, even I wouldn't do level 3. Level 3 is just don't have anything worth stealing. And then if you do get mugged, you give them your garbage, you know, your backup pretend phone. And you give them, you know, like your fake wallet with your pictures of your fake kids in it. And you know, like all that sort of stuff. The second level is like have some zipper pockets where you store your valuables. Or like store, you know, put money in your shoe instead of in your pocket, etc. You know, that level of stuff. As a woman, you have other places you can hide money. I'm sure you know. Easiest way to not get mugged on a beach is to go to a nude beach. Exactly. There's no guns on a nude beach. There are some real problems, huh? I had a passport wallet on a lead that went under my shirt. Oh, a lanyard. I don't know how I read that as lead. See, right? That is a thing I am jealous of. You know, where do I hide my things under my shirt? I can't. You know, I get caught wearing a. Also, thank you very much, Gorilla Man Gaming. OMG, you're my favorite YouTuber. Thank you, Gorilla Man. I get caught wearing a bra at an international airport, and there's a lot of questions that get raised. R/I'm an introvert, and IBX Toy Cat philosophy is deep, says Andre Walker. I think there's an interesting thing about deep, is that like it's a lot of people want deep, but like aren't willing to like make the investment to get there, and that's why it always sounds like low level. The whole like, oh yeah, this is deep, man, it's easy to like mock, but also I think maybe I also think it's not like good too, because of the fact that it's like deep conversations are the ones worth having, whereas the shallow conversations are the ones where it's like those are just ways for us to get along, whereas like a deep conversation is like improving your overall knowledge. But yeah, also, did you hear the CIA had capsules of miniguns and weapons that go up there? You're not so safe on a nude beach. One of the craziest events I'd love to make a video on. Also, I saw a life hack that says in order to not get robbed on a beach, you should put your valuables in a diaper, then put chocolate in the diaper so it melts and no one touches it. That's a good one. That's smart. I like that pro tip, as terrible and as bizarre as it is. Big fan right there. I'm telling the internet now, but I keep my money in a in a box of tampons, like half used as well, and like no one's gonna be like, you know what? I haven't found money. I'd better go looking in that. You know, just in case. No one's thinking that. They're like, you know, gonna blank this out from mine. I'm not rummaging through there. Okay, please don't rob my house now, internet. Don't use that information against me. I could have made that up. Who knows? You know, that's wacky. How would I even have them? It's not like there are any tampons that have appeared in my life over time and then not been taken back because I was ghosted by the girl who put them. You know, that's probably fake. Yeah, probably made that up. Definitely, and that was like a joke I threw on top. It's not real. Also, thank you, Gorilla Man Gaming, for becoming the 648th member. Not in the fridge. I keep my will in the fridge. If you want to steal my legal documents that ensure the survival of my legacy, then that's in the fridge. I really want to share my will. What if they need a tampon though? Says Liam Vandermeer. So it's a woman robber. She's going in that, you know, 25% of the month, and she hasn't brought any supplies. And she's like, oh god, I've been looking around this house for so long, and I have not. I just, you know, I realized that I need to. I'm overflowing over here, and then they're like, oh, thankfully, even though I thought this was a single dude's place before, I appear to have found a box containing, and oh, what's this? It's the money. It's you know, it's I feel like, you know, maybe this is sexism, but I assume the only people robbing me are men. Is that sexism? Like one of my biases is I do believe I think I missed Sasha Regini. Any advice on how to get out of the friend zone? The trick to getting out of the friend zone is to kiss her right on the nose. If she reacts weirdly, then you know what? Probably in the friend zone, nothing you can do. If she reacts, wow, I was waiting for you to do that, and then she kisses you on your nose, then you're forever bound together in holy matrimony. Believe that's how that works. But yeah, it is sexism. I don't think that okay, first of all, you know, I think statistics back me up on that one. I think, wait, what percent of burglaries are committed by women? I think women commit less crime. I am sexist. I assume better of women than, I assume worse of men than of women. It seems offensive. It seems offensive to say it the other way around. I assume that men are more degenerate and more likely to commit a crime against me than a woman is. That is my legit full-on assumption here. I am really gonna badly falling for this. Do I have a pet? I do not anymore. I'm sorry, Mr. Gorilla Man Gaming. I wish I had a pet, but I don't. Not yet. Men accounted for 80.4% of persons arrested for violent crime and 62.9% of those arrested for property crime. So it's like 2 to 1. I was expecting a little bit more, but like that's still the majority of crimes being committed by things. Also, please scream when the imposter is sus. No. Okay, there we go. Glad I got to your super chat, Joe Does Things. Thank you for the tip, though. Like, I genuinely, I would be one of those juries that was like, if you gave me 2 candidates and you said, we know the murder was by one of these people, I'd be like, I guess it must have been, I would be biased against the guy, first of all. I think this is probably like the halo effect in action. Like, when people are attractive, you assume better things from them. But I think you combine that with like, okay, you know, this is, it's a little sexist, but I'm not going to hound you for it, says Chastity Reader. Yeah, like when it's positive, but okay, hear me out here. For whatever reason, like there's a weird, one of my, also my husband is so, no, I read the wrong thing. Just don't wear a mask and say you're from Florida and I'll stay away from you. That's the #1 tip for staying safe. I assume, okay, like, tell me, chat, is this, do you think this is offensive too? If I was gonna like leave my bag somewhere, I would be much more comfortable leaving it with a lady than with a gentleman. Like I have a more instinctual trust of women than of men. I don't think it will pay off 100% of the time. I just think statistically, you know? It's like, I don't know. I would trust. Also, my husband is so awesome. He bought me female supplies one time and actually did a pretty good job. Also, he cleans things. I think that, you know, I would like to, you know, I don't know where I can take this that I'm like, okay to go without revealing some personal information for someone else. Also, why are you making an obsidian desert, says VisionX. I'm glad you asked. Glad you asked. So, I was watching the Harrison stream earlier. I don't know how I never heard about Harrison stream, but I'm fascinated now that I do know about it. I am fascinated. Also, Dresden J. Claw, thank you for the tip. I hope you're doing well today. Yeah, like, it's not offensive, it's just something you shouldn't do, says Samantha Grosh. But again, it's like, when you're making societal decisions, see, here's that thing, right? On a societal level, I think that discrimination is terrible. On a personal level, it might make sense in some cases, right? Like, when you're risking everything you own, like, this bag, you know, like, my bag at an airport has my laptop in there. It might have a bunch of currency. It's got, like, all of the things I need for the next week. And if I was going to trust that with someone, I'd be like, I need to have a good basis for who to trust. You know, like, I think there's a lot of bad biases in my head that I should get rid of. Like, maybe I would trust someone religious more because I'd be like, they think they'll go to hell if they steal this versus not someone else. So if it is statistically accurate, you could argue the statistics are in part or even full of societal expectations. Yeah, I do think that by assuming bad things, we do lead to those bad things being more likely. I really agree with you on that one, Dodgem 47. That's where Kill the Men comes from, personal discrimination law. There is a real, like, group of people that are like, yeah, all men suck. Also, it'll be a lot of the same people who say things like, yeah, you shouldn't just assume women aren't going to commit crimes. It's like, I'm positively but anyway, I think that, again, like, if you're trying to make, like, systems, obviously, like, they're terrible things to design with any discrimination of any form built in. Like, there's it on a large enough level, it's a questionable idea. But on a personal level, like, you really, you know, you need to make sure that, like, your stuff is safe, don't you? I personally do. If you're willing to admit it and you acknowledge that it's a bias, that's good. I will say if you see a man assume they're a robber, that's bad. But if a robber's more likely to be a man, that's good. Yeah, that's where people have the problem, right? Like, hypothetically, yeah, like, I like that example. It actually makes biological sense. You're genetically predisposed to have more prejudice that is in favor of women. I wonder, like, I guess it's because we need to have that. It's interesting that it also works the other way around. Like, you wouldn't have expected that if it's biological, but I think the really interesting level of this is, yeah, that it is bad though if you assume, oh, this person is likely to be a robber because they are a man. Instead, it's just the robber is more likely to be a man. Like, a lot of people can conflate those two things. Like, here's one. If you're poor, you're more likely to be involved in crime. But not all poor people commit crime. And so a lot of people are really worried about having poor people in their neighborhood. Whether it's for driving down property value. And it's like, no. Because a poor person is more likely to commit a crime, you know, lots of rich people commit crimes all the time. Part of it's that they don't get caught. Part of it's that they're expected not to commit crimes. And so this is the most counterintuitive thing to me, right? I feel like you just explained how women is more likely to get together with robbing you. Oh, 100%. 100%. Babies are instinctively inclined to be afraid of strange people with beards. Statistically, Toy Cat is more likely to be a robber, therefore Toy Cat is a robber. I mean, look at all this money I've robbed from people like Gerald K. Thank you, by the way. Appreciate the tip. Or do I appreciate the money as a whole? But I think the real bad part of it is, like, when you start to assume the reverse. That's when we get, like, big problems coming up, right? Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I really am. Or maybe it is, like, it's just a bias I should admit and try to overcome. But I think a lot of people have biases like that, but they're just like, no, I don't have biases. I judge. You know, like one of my favorite phases of the woke movement was the like I don't see color phase. Like a black person, a white person, literally couldn't tell them apart. Or like a woman and a man, which one's which? Could you tell me? It's like, well, that's not very helpful at all, is it? It's like recently one of the biggest backlashes I've ever seen was against Twitch. They did a big campaign where to show support for women streamers, they're like, it's Women's History Month maybe, and they're like, so we support women, but they spelt women with an X, and apparently there's this word, I've never heard it before the campaign, and most people have never had either. There's this word that exists that is like people are campaigning to make a more inclusive women term. So like, sure, if you want to say women and not be inclusive, sure, but like if you want to let you know, trans, non-binary women know that like they're included in this too, then it's like women with an X. But it's like, but that's like, you're misunderstanding their goal there, right? Their goal is to be included in you know, like, I feel like we've gone so far back the opposite way now that it's like wrong on the other level. It's like, we're going to include people by specifically excluding them. You know, like we've got this new goal. It's like we want to, and again, like the idea is like trans women are a form of women. They're not a tram of womenx and like that is it. But I find the concept interesting because it fits the idea. If you had no idea, if you hadn't heard the backlash, you'd be like, oh, that's interesting. But it's, you know, it's one of those things where like you need to. There are certain groups that have like very particular feelings, and like understanding what those are important, and like that's where I feel like at one point we were like, oh yeah, there is no such thing as everyone's included equally. I don't see color, I don't see race, I don't see gender, don't see sexuality. And for the record, I don't think you do see sexuality. Actually, you can. Oh, that's controversial opinion, but I think you can in some cases, statistically. Anyway, but you can't see all those things. Why do people who don't want to identify as women want to be included with women, says IVX Panda. Yeah, that's another one of the weird part gaps of it. Hear a new word for women to include trans women, it's just transphobia. I think it's not. I'm not going to go that far. I think there are well-intentioned people using it, right? It's just, it's not what that group wants. It's people working on behalf of that group. It's people deciding that, like, actually, I think I know what trans people want. I mean, sure, I've never spoken to one in my life, but, like, I mean, what they want is they want a special word. That's how we make people happy. We make up words. The Latinx movement, where it's like, you know, it's actually really offensive of Spanish to have Latinos and Latinas. So we're gonna give them a new word to get rid of their bigotry. They're gonna be so excited. And it's like that idea of like, you don't force concepts onto it. You can't just make up a concept, you know. And that I find so interesting. You know, like, because if you are a regular observer, if you just saw that and you never saw any of the backlash, you'd be like, oh, I guess there's a new term to just, you know, a more inclusive term for women now. Wumks and I can't even say it. Are you super straight, says Fletcher Elite? Oh man, I find that to be such an interesting. I don't like the movement itself is like clearly like very petty. But then the response to it, the way people react to things is so much more interesting than the things themselves. In like so many cases, like that's what social movements are, right? It's just like everyone feeling things out and seeing where it goes. When trans with an asterisk was big for 2 years, then suddenly went wrong. Like I think, but I think what we're learning is like. My take on this is so many people get it so wrong by being like, yeah, so my big thing is like, I think we need diversity. And diversity means like exclusively people from this group. And it's like, no, you misunderstand the, it means, and I think we fail to understand that like, there's a lot of issues at play all at the same time. And everyone has, like, their own little issue they care the most about. Like, do you care about thought diversity the most? Like, people think in entirely different ways. When we're talking about, like, someone with ADHD or autism or, I always forget it, dyslexia. Like, they have entirely different viewpoints, or even just like people who are ideologically conservative leaning, have very different takes on business. That like than people who are like ideologically liberal. Like ironically enough, if the Twitch staff that had been even like that whole like Wumster movement could have been stopped by just someone being trans obviously and being like we don't like this time, or more than one, because maybe it was one trans person that was on board or felt obliged to be on board. But if there was someone who was like conservatively, they'd be like, are we really achieving anything with this? Is this what we want to do? Neurodivergent. Yeah, but like I think like it's not just neurodivergence. I think there is lots of thought pattern divergences amongst people who aren't neurodivergent. But like that might be your number one thing. Or your number one thing might be like gender based. So Burger King and their whole like, oh yeah, so only 20% of chefs at Burger King are women. Why is that? So maybe that's the point of it you care about most. But it's like people are realizing like, no matter even if you have 1,000 people and you perfectly balance them to match the population. So like, let's assume like in the UK that'd be like 50 black people, like 80 Asians. But like, what is Asian? There's like Southeast and South and East Asian. Then there's North. There's such different groups. Like sure, whatever. We'll just say 80 Asians. And then within those groups, you need some of them to be female, some of them to be women, some of them to be men, some of them to be transgender, some of them to be. It's like you can, even if you could achieve that, you're then going to leave out some group that's less specific than 1 in 1,000, right? And then it's the problem of like, well, should every group be perfectly representative, or should it just be like trying not to be unrepresentative? And that's the whole thing about like, if you set a goal so lofty of like we should be perfect. Stream crashing. It's been happening more recently. I'd love to dig into why. No good reason as to why that is though. Anyway, hello, I'm a BX Toycat, and my stream crashed. You know what? I didn't have a diverse enough portfolio of redundancy options. No, something I'm really looking into doing. Oh, are we good? Something I'm really gonna do when I move is I'm gonna have a dedicated stream PC. So that way, one of the 2 PCs will always be ready to go. Like the fact that one crash can like bring down my stream, I'm like, it's not a cost-effective thing to have. But anyway, hello, you look like a camera, says Nerdwaffle. Thank you. Mine too. Let me know if you figure it out. I've looked into it so many times and I've never found anything that would be useful, which is sad. But here's an interesting question that only really works for males and females who like one gender. Let's say the opposite gender. What gender would you be attracted to? Says Galaxy Jelly 99. Oh, I like that question a lot. I've contemplated it a lot because like nowadays it's not such an unrealistic thing that you not be the same. That you not be the same gender, sex, the one that changes. It's not an entirely unrealistic thing. I think it's a fun. I think that like if you changed like because it's asking the question, are you straight because are you straight because you're like following your biology, or are you straight and that obviously that's true on some level, or are you straight like are you following the rules of society, or are you straight because you really like insert gender here? And I feel like for me it's definitely, well, it feels like it's the second one, but it's probably not, right? See, like, even being aware of, like, why you do the things that you do is, like, surprisingly hard. Like, I mentioned before, one of the fun experiments is, the one that changes. I always want to be clear, like, if I accidentally say sex instead of gender, I'm not trying to make some grand point, like, that many respect and etc. to, like there is no ill intent. I'm just trying to say like because there like I this is one of those big arguments where like there's a big group of people that are like, well, you can't change biology, and then there's other people saying we're not talking about biology, we're talking about society. They're like, well, we base society on biology, and then so it's like, but like it's really they're just saying sex or gender or whatever, and like they're both bizarre concepts that like whatever. I'm just trying to say one of them, like most governments say you can change. One of them, most governments say you can't. I was talking about that. Anyway, so I I was trying to say before all of that like how would you live like a perfect day if you like could control your schedule? If you weren't like kind of limited in the way that you naturally have to be as a human, how would you design a month if you could skip forward for all the doing the month and you could just have like a robot do it for you? Right? It's a fun little question, and it's hard to even know the answer. I don't know what the answer is for me. Okay, so we're gonna go to there, and then all of this fills in here. That feels a bit rigid, but fine. Actually, no, let's move this. Go on one more block. I think you know, no one really knows with absolute certainty why that is. But also like when you're attracted to someone, there are explicit things that like scream out to you that you're attracted to them, and I'm like, I feel like I have a better grip on like why I like people, both socially but also like romantically and physically or whatever. I think I think most people don't have a great grasp on that. They just like do or they don't, you know. But it's an example of like, yeah, considering why you are the way you, considering exactly what leads you to make the decisions that you make, is something you don't need to consider most of the time. Most of the time, the much harder question, rather than like, what is it that makes me attracted to this one human being? Is it because I'm going by societal? Is it because I could be attracted to anyone, but I'm going by societal rules because that's easy? You know, whatever the long train of thought would have to be. Or is it just that like, they're there, and I do for some reason? Or is it like, oh yeah, I specifically like the fact that women are, you know, like, then, you know, let's just say, see that I'm not saying this is true. But you're like, well, I like that they're nice. I like nice people. And even then, even if that's true, it's like, well, that's something to do with your, like, mothering, you know, like, you see them as, because the first woman that you have a relationship with is your mother. And so, something of that relationship has gone wrong. Or maybe it's gone right. I don't know how it works. But, like, there's, like, the explanation behind everything exists. It's just, sometimes it's complex. But the way more important thing than why, because who cares about why I'm hungry for jalapeno poppers right now? Would love some of those. I think what matters way more than why I'm hungry for them is like, how do I get them? Can I order some? Let me find out, chat. Hey, thank you, Doc, bro, for becoming channel member number 649. We so close, huh? We so close. Let's see if I can get some jalapeno poppers. See, it's great. Like, actually, it's actually pretty easy. I just go on Uber Eats. I type in jalapeno. And what do I find? I see I can buy a pizza with jalapenos. Hey, I can buy them from Pizza Hut for $5.59. Or I can buy jalapenos and shrooms. Are they deep fried? Oh, they're cream cheese stuffed. Oh. I bought the ones with mushrooms before. Now you want just jalapeno poppers. There's only Pizza Hut and one other place that will do them for me. Ooh, or I could get a meat treat pizza. Anyway, my point is I was socially straight and attracted to men until I felt gay butterflies and I felt what a crush should feel like with a girl, says Jacqueline Smith. See, that's cute, right? Like, that's... And it's probably... Even though it's probably better to just satisfy, like, oh yeah, I feel good when I am romantically attached to someone that I care about. Maybe that's a more important feeling sometimes. But also, like, knowing why and knowing what is really important. That's why people always say the dumbest thing, which is like, you need to get to know yourself before you can date other people. Like, I don't agree with that too much. Like, it seems like a good way of just saying... You know, I feel like a lot of life is just justifying, like, why being single is a good thing, actually. It's like, it's better than being in a bad relationship, not better than being in an ideal one, right? Anyway, also, if I'm bi but I never act on lesbian side fit because I want biological children, does that make you closeted? The ethics. See, that is an interesting one, too. Like, if you're like, oh yeah, I could go for either, or even you have a preference towards the one that doesn't make children, but you're like, but I want children as well. How do you weigh up those two desires? But then also, what if you want the one, relationships, but, oh, okay, wait, here's another statistics one that people are going to despise me for, because, you know, people already said it was sexist in me to assume a good thing about women. Women, same-sex relationships between women are way more violent than average. I don't know what the logic is or why or anything. Hey, Everlasting Lizard, thank you so much for becoming a channel member. Member number 652. That's a number I like. By the way, if that's the first time you've said it, congratulations, Pat. But there is an interesting thing of like, how do you weigh up all of that? Yeah, I would be willing to bet it's like statistics manipulation or something. Like it could be like women are more likely to report abuse from their same-sex partner or something. Again, we're not gonna, but like that's one of those fascinating like, why is that? I would love to know, but we can't. Like, there's so many things we can't know because it's like we don't want to know. We would not be happy with the answer we came to. You know, it's like no one's gonna do the calculations and be like, so, you know, like here's a heartless one, right? I'm not suggesting we do this, but no one could even do the. It's there's this sketch in the Michelin Web show that's like, you know, would it fix the budget problem if we killed the poor, or killed the homeless maybe? I don't know which it is. And it's like, are you sure you want to do that? And it's like, yeah, we just want to have the, you know, just want to have the numbers, see if we should. We're not going to, of course. And they're like, I just really think that, and then they do it, and they're like, it doesn't work. And they're like, what if we raise VAT and kill the poor? And basically, my point is, but like, you can't even mention it because it's like, ooh, that's a whole thing. Women are less intimidated by a woman, so it's easy to assume that's why. I would have guessed, again, you would assume it would be like heterosexual relationships that have the most abuse. One way. I don't know. It's only my like, I think your own social bubble can also play around with that. Like I have only seen abuse one way, and like I've never seen the traditional abusive couple. One of my friends was featured on this. I can't. They were featured on a very big show because their girlfriend literally tried to kill them, like stabbed him multiple times. Because like I don't know why. You know, I forgot even the reason why. It was something really petty. I was like, you will do the dishes next time. Like he had to. There was a whole process for him to get out there. Glad, you know, like, but like, also is this London's Cutting Homeless in Half campaign. Also, I agree that women is actually trans exclusionary, and as a trans man, I'd rather people look at me and call me a man rather than a McSen. I think you would rather be included. People mistake inclusion by like inclusion shouldn't be specifically calling something out. Inclusion should just be, oh, that's cool. Is he that? You know, the best inclusion is when something becomes entirely. Also, thank you so much. Shout Milo. I will not shout Milo, but thank you. The best inclusion is when you don't think of it as inclusion. At the moment you call it inclusion, and then it stops being inclusion, right? Like, and that's what that term proves ultimately. That like you can't just say something is inclusive. The word inclusive does not make something inclusive. To me, at least, inclusion is not treating them differently, right? Yeah, that's what most like sane people are on board. People just want to be, and this is why the easiest thing you can do on an individual level. A lot of people are like, so what you can do is you can educate yourself about the history. No. The single most important thing you can just do is like try to on an individual level. Just treat people like, you know, like there are some biases that come up. Just spot them and be like, I'll try not to do that as much. Boom, there you go. I fixed society. You're welcome. Obviously, it doesn't work fully that way. And like, if you don't have the conversation, people forget about doing it. And like, you know, maybe that says something more about the laziness of society than it does about anything else. But I feel like I feel like the idea of like, yeah, if you if you explicitly have to call it out, and if you make it explicitly clear that, like, yeah, this is going to be... But, because one of the interesting things about that also comes up is the... One of the craziest things to me is that people are like, oh yeah, so we're going to exclusively go for this. Like, if you have 1,000 jobs to fill, and you fill them trying to match the population perfectly, maybe that's something. But if you're trying to... Like, hypothetically, right? Let's say Google has 100,000 employees, and they're all white. And they need to get to the UK's black population, which is... I think it's 5%. UK black population. They want to get to the 3%. So they need to get 3,000 employees, right? And a lot of them would be like, so we can have better statistics, the next 3,000 employees we hire, we'll just make sure they're all that. Or like, you know, what percent of the population is trans? UK trans population. They have only non-trans staff members. And so there's 200,000 to 5. That's like 0.3% to 0.5%. So they need to hire 5, and they're like, okay, we're just gonna hire 500 trans. It's like, but that's not how hiring works if you're not trying to think about optics. That you're making it clear that it's only for the optics there, and it's not for the... Instead, you just be like, oh yeah, we're gonna hire people, and if we do a good job, it will end up roughly balanced. Sometimes it'll be more. Sometimes we will have more of this group, and sometimes we'll have more of that group. But again, like I think it's because in business, the complex messages can't sell. Like we even saw, you know, the funniest thing to me is from the Burger King campaign, even the subtlety behind, you know, like saying an offensive thing and then immediately saying, we hate the offensive thing, here's what we're trying to do to fix it. That's, no. You only say good things by themselves. You don't say, you don't get a nuanced picture. You don't get to say, so we're gonna do a little bit of something. Sometimes it might go bad, but we want to make sure it mostly goes good. It's like, no, we want the message from you that everything. Why haven't you solved racism, Google? Why have you? You're only committing to 25% solving it. Oh, what's that all about? But yeah, I think it's a very interesting one. I wish I hadn't spent so long talking about it. I feel like that's one of those like we shouldn't talk about here on this channel issues. Because again, if you disagree with me, and that's totally cool if you do, I respect your right to disagree with me on that one, and I think it would be weird if everyone had a perfect agreement with me on there. Like maybe you're like, oh, I agree on this, but not that. Or maybe you do hate everything I just said. You're like, no, you're the problem there. You have made the biggest difference in making the world worse. But if that's your opinion, cool if it is, by the way. I think the reason it's a problem is like, I think it's unlikely that changed anyone's mind. Like maybe if you vaguely agreed, you might agree vaguely more. The reason I don't politics is because like people go in stonewalled, ready to like fight. And it's like, shouldn't this be about like, you know, shouldn't we be like growing as people here and like hopefully improving our opinions? Because ultimately, it's like, nah, you go in ready for a death fight.
It is the first time I have said it. I am torn between the convenience at married midlife of staying straight and the positive effects of being authentic, not to mention supporting the community.
I actually thought about this one a lot. Okay, you know, I want to move off the subject as soon as I can. I disagree for the sake of disagreeing with you. You've described the internet quite well there, Peen. I lost GF because he came out as trans and then he thought that I wouldn't continue to him as a male. It wasn't the brain I liked anyhow, but he completely cut me off after that. Oh, it was the brain. I read that as like, you know, it wasn't the brain I liked, so... Oh, right, it was I just put together... Man, like, it's so... Whenever, like, telling stories of, like, relationships where it happens midway through, it gets, like, confusing, because, like, your relationship was with X, but... You know, I think that's such an interesting one. I can't imagine the conflict I'd go through if, like, that happened to me. So, Ryan Hibbs, I feel you. Also, like, I've always wondered, like, you know, if I was, like, I'm pretty again, like, to the best of my knowledge, and you know, I really, you know, like, now that, like, it's entirely okay, I was like, you know, let's just, what's the deal with me? And I'm like, no, not a you know, like, I am very boring in my not ethnicity. You know, my ethnicity is actually quite exciting. You know, I'm mixed British Asian if I want to be. But I'm becoming an Irish national soon, as soon as that opens again. But what's the whole thing like of like, oh yeah, if you are bi but you are currently with, I think I would just go down the route of like, yeah, I would go down convenience. And I think for most of history, like, yeah, convenience. You just say, you know, until you need it for a reason. But like, yeah, I guess on the internet, like, being the larger a number of something is, the more people feel comfortable being a part of that. Like, not gonna compare bisexuals to Nazis, but if we take something you do disagree with, like, you know, a party of very bad people, you know, like there are political opinions that don't work on the fringes. You're like, ooh, I don't want to be associated with that. But like, you know, in Germany in 1939, when everyone came together and said, you know, actually these guys do have a plan. They were wrong when they said that, but like, the more the movement grew, the more people felt comfortable supporting it, because they're like, well, it's a big thing. You can see similar movements in various countries, and you don't need a label, whatever happens. But I actually think you do need a label of some form. I think like most of the time you don't need a label. Like, some people are very overly proud, overly sharing of their labels. It's like, you know, I feel like labels will give you more pain than comfort in general. But I also think, like, you know, you need concepts. You need ways to explain yourself to other people. Like, you know, we can say like, I don't need labels. I just enjoy playing Minecraft. But it's like, so are you? But like, I could also just say, yeah, I play a lot of Minecraft. I hate having to call myself a YouTuber. By Nazism could kill millions of people. Could either way. You could make the argument. You know, I'm not going to make this terrible argument. Thank you, Toycat, for not comparing me to a Nazi. I do my best. I do. You know, I don't want to. You know, I obviously Toycat, the crazy radical thinker here, not comparing LGBTQ people to Nazi. I'm very proud of myself. I know, but yeah, I think there's an interesting like thing here. Also, I think I'm making the desert a bit too not flat. I think I need to just go flatter. Just like, yeah, I think we need more flat parts. Like, there's too many like hills, and there were hills in my desert, but it's like not quite this. What's your favorite color, Toycat? You know, there we go. That's all we need. Thank you, Myra. My favorite color is blue. What's your favorite color, chat? Tell me about your favorite color. I would love to hear about it. I like blue. I think it's good. But yeah, I think to me, like, you need to have some, but I think we should be like very restrictive with what we label. You know, like, I hate calling myself a YouTuber, but there are some situations where, like, yeah, I'm a YouTuber. Like, I have to, it's the easiest way to describe myself to someone else. But I don't want to tell anyone that, like, oh yeah, you shouldn't be proud of your label. Like, I think I'm happy for people who can be. But also just know that with any label comes a bunch of baggage. You know, like, not gonna go there. Even the fact that, like, you know, accidentally compared group of people to the Germans from 1939. That I don't want to say the N word because everyone assumes they're different. You know, that word has some baggage too. But like the Germans from 1939 that start with an N, there's a lot of baggage to that word. Wouldn't it be crazy if this was like my big Nazi conversion plot? You know, you get them in with the Minecraft videos, and then you convince them, like, you know, you ever notice how we're all good friends here? It's because none of us are from that one religion with the staff are there. You know, can't believe it. This stream has to be private after this now. Otherwise, that's gonna end up in the wrong hands. It's gonna be terrible. YouTube is fine. Influence makes me think as if humans have actually. You know, the term influencer I will never use. I do not influence anyone. I would like to actively not influence you. Actually, wait, I guess I technically influence you not. Do you know you can buy this Let's Play World in the marketplace? Wow, I bet you didn't. Maybe I'm an influencer in that sense, and some number of at last checking, it's still. I think we passed 10,000 in the first. Not very long. This is going with the melon juice stream. Says Brody Privet, you totally influenced me. I also though try, even if like a lot of influencers basically like hold their audience of contempt. I think even if I literally right now made compelling points for why you should be like the Germans from 1939, I would trust you not to become Germans from 1939. It'd be like, you know, there is that one religion that is. For me, the label dyslexia was not fun. I'd rather not have it. I don't really label my sexuality anything as possible. Yeah, right. I agree with you. Like, yeah, labels have such a bearing thing on it. I think they should be used more sparingly than they are used altogether. Yeah, I would trust that even if I make some really great arguments, like, so hear me out here, guys. You ever see the flag? What about that sweet? You know, they built some autobahns. You know that? Oh, guess we're out of obsidian. It's like no. I trust you. I think a lot of people don't trust their audiences, and the worst thing is when people don't trust, like, oh yeah, if someone says something, they're gonna influence their, and it's like, they're gonna. I don't like if you heard a compelling speech. What's a controversial opinion I have? You know, my whole fish thing. Let me make the argument to you as why you should only eat salmon. Like, stop your tilapia. Or your halibut. Oh god, my elytra just didn't activate there. I guess that bug is back, huh? The lack of elytra activation, sometimes trying to kill you, bug. I mean, what could go wrong with this? Content creator. Yeah, I go with content. Content creator is my legal job title. Or like when I try to describe it, it's like, what does your company do? Content creation. Like various work visas and whatever. We'll say that. I want to start combining pickaxes again soon. I need to get around to that eventually. Lots of other things I've got to get around to as well, though. The Isle of Man flag is rather suspicious when compared to the 1939 German moment. Like, also, thank you very much, Miss Pat Van Driver Lady. Also, wait, Miss Pat Van Driver Lady. So Dutch, or are you a van driver? Do you drive vans for a living, or are you Dutch? Anyway, I was quite happy keeping mum. I was quite happy keeping mum until I started driving openly by a teen. Her courage makes me feel more authentic than marrying just for kids did. I find that, like, that's a dilemma I never thought about as existing in the world, but, like, it totally makes sense that it does. And that's, like, so interesting to me. Of, like, you know, because, like, I hate children, but I never considered, like, what if, you know, hypothetically, in a world where I can only have children with men, but it's like, but I don't want a man life partner. That doesn't sound fun to me. But, like, what if it's the only choice? I don't know how I would deal with the situation. Okay, I've got a bunch of birch leaves and a map in this chest. So I'm going to take the unknown map. I'm going to throw it in the pile of the rest. And I've got a lot of... I need to work out what I'm doing with this. Okay, well, I'll take the cocoa beans for the dye chest. Easy, right? Is there a brown flower yet, or do I have to use cocoa beans for my brown dye? You know, we'll work that out later. And then we need to put all the saplings in a sapling chest. Honestly, chat, is there a chance I'm going to need this many saplings, or should I use them as furnace fuel? Because it's very tempting to do that second one. No, jungle saplings I might need. Oh, it's hard. Unknown maps are the most useful item in Minecraft, right, Toycat? Just cocoa beans. Wow, I can't believe it's just cocoa beans. Okay, so I'll take out the oak saplings. Put those wherever I put the oak saplings. There is a chest somewhere around here that is filled with oak saplings. Well, it's gone now. Okay. And oh, we need those as well. Okay, wait, we're gonna get my shovel back up to repaired level. Look at that. Okay, that didn't work how I thought it would. Look at that. Also didn't work how I thought it would. Throw... Oh, man. My life is a chest management nightmare, huh? Okay, so we're going to take out these saplings and the bone meal. And we'll just leave the... For now, we'll just leave the the leaves in there. And then we'll deal with that when we deal with that. Yeah, if we put this shulker box in my leaf chest. When I finish that leaf build, it'll be great. Repairing your armor first, probably. Ah, yeah, that makes some sense. I also think it's got a lot to go as well. You know, let's do this. So, how come you don't stream on Twitch, Toycat? Just wondering. I don't like Twitch as a concept. And also, they're really rude to me every time I tried. They were also just garbage to me and it's like, no, you're not making me beg for this. I'm like even recently I went for a little phase. I was like, I'll get Twitch partnered, so like we have the option, and they refused to partner me even after streaming multiple times, even with my YouTube streaming audience, even with my YouTube channel, which is 16 times the size they say you need to get partnered. They aren't following their own rules not to partner me, and I take that in 3 separate ways. I take that with genuine offense. I take that with very, very serious offense. And so I say, yeah, get out of here. Not okay. Not bueno. Very disappointed you did not say hi to my friend, Big Chungus, Deshi Lord. I'm sorry, it's sushi in your face. Yeah, what if Toycat secretly at 1930s German trying to convert us to trans by 1930s Germanism? I mean, if you think about it, really, the most progressive ideology, if you're in favor of rights for all those people, is 1930s Germans, because if you burn a group, everyone's going to come out in support of that group because they don't want them burned anymore, and it's called accelerationism. But let me tell you about what a great idea it is. Cancel Twitch. I just don't understand. Like, maybe it literally is like there's someone has a personal vendetta against me. There's a note on my file being like, make sure you don't give that Toycat guy a partnership. He sure sucks. Maybe there is something like that going on. I just don't understand. Like, yeah, they're a major company. They should be beyond petty things like that. Or have a consistent strategy as a company. No, I'm asking too much of Twitch now, I know. As a libertarian, I don't think the government should have a say in the matter of LGBTQ rights. These should be inherent. Sadly, these things must be put into law to be legitimized. It is one of those interesting things where it's like, this shouldn't be a thing anyone has the say over. But if it has been, it's an interesting way of like, if you don't believe this is a right that someone has, like, okay, if someone has stolen money, right? Actually, wait, this came up recently. Chat, I want to know if you. Okay, I've got to put my sandstone away and then refill my shulker box. I want to know. Here's an interesting one to me. Twitch's whole setup is just garbage. Yeah, Twitch is a much like YouTube live streams have many issues. Let me tell you about the many issues. I will do it sometime. But Twitch just has more issues. I hate me in middle school. He was dumb, says Alex Schleifer. If you didn't hate you from the past, I would be concerned. Like, it's weirder not to hate past you. Don't worry, man. It's definitely weirder to not hate the past versions of yourself. Okay, so I'm gonna fill this shulker box with obsidian, and then also I'm gonna fill up. Oh god, I need to like have a clearer way to organize my stuff. We'll just throw saplings in there. Whatever. This can be the sapling chest. And I want to remove those jungle saplings. I want to remove. There's no saplings here. You know, I need to just work out a better way for all of this. Also,
Get yourself some poppers, Catman.
I will get myself some jalapeno poppers. I've been planning, like, okay, so tomorrow morning is when I'm gonna know something more about the house. Hopefully, it would be shocking if it wasn't that I had it. I would be genuinely, legitimately upset with someone if it was like, ooh, they've actually decided, even though you offered what they were asking for, they want more money out of you because they've decided they can have it. I did one live stream once, so I can say YouTube works fine. I'll take it. I'll take it. But I'll have some jalapeno poppers. I'll drink some Bucks Fizz, and I'll get some cake delivered. I'll have all of my favorite things. It'll be nice. But yeah, something interesting, right? Chat. If you were in the situation, in a hypothetical world. Oh, I need to go mining obsidian more. I think I'm running out. Yeah, I've got 2 more boxes. And then I'm gonna have to go fill some more up, huh? I've got so much endstone, Jesus. Oh, and there's more in here too. Okay, so this is sand and clay. So I'll put my sandstone, and obsidian. You know, now I've got this much sand anyway. It seems as though, I mean, I'm just saying I could very easily start draining an ocean, perhaps. I got free chests full. Maybe I should start doing that soon. Okay, so if money arrives in your bank account, it's not your money, of course, but it does arrive into your bank account. Yeah, the one that belongs to you. Do you keep it, or do you try to return it? It's obviously like very tricky to. Do you speak to the bank, or do you just like do nothing and hope that no one asks for it? Do you keep the money, or do you return it? Keep or return. Say in chat which you do. If money just arrives in your bank account, no questions, nothing like that. Just it gets there. I'd call a lawyer. That feels like dirty to me. Like checking illegally. Like it's actually the best answer, but also rude. Okay, keep. It's interesting It's interesting the inclination to keep here. How much money? That's an interesting sub question. Yeah, let's say it's 100,000 of your currency. Pounds, dollars. You know what, let's say it's 100,000 pounds. It converts to your currency. Just to make sure it's an equal thing, you know? Do you keep that money? We got some returns in here, but not many. Most people would keep it. I was expecting it to be the opposite. I thought I was just a bad person. But so I'm not saying that's happened to me. But one of the things that's scary, bank transfers, which I'm going to do a bank transfer at some point while I'm gone in America to buy a house. But for that very large amount of money that makes me sad that even someone can ask me for that amount, let alone actually receive it. But the interesting thing to me is when you send, if you just get one, I'm surprised. Me too, actually. Call the lawyer, that's the only right answer, says Jacqueline Smith. You know, it just feels heartless. It just feels like we're outsourcing morality to a third party. And like that's totally what you should do. It just disappoints me. I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. Anyway, so I think there's a very interesting question in here that is kind of like, so when you transfer money, you can transfer it to the wrong account. And then it's like up to you to try and legally return it. Like a bank won't always help you. Just refund the money. Because once you've sent it somewhere, it's their money now. Once you receive money, it is yours. Although if it was wrongly sent, it's like called theft by finding or something. If you find an iPhone on the ground, you can't assume that that's your iPhone. It's like, obviously no one leaves an iPhone on the ground they don't want anymore. It's like someone else's they've just forgotten about. So, I always destroy some sugarcane while I go through here. So the interesting bit of this to me is the fact that like there's a lengthy process to get it back, and one of the like, even though I said personally I would keep the money, one of the stories that makes me like genuinely mad on behalf of the sender. So a guy had it's like £193,000 inheritance. Someone died, he got that amount of money. I'm sure you can get inheritance. But so he got that amount of inheritance, and the money was sent to the wrong account. I don't even, it wasn't even his mistake. Someone else made the mistake, or maybe he did. But like, as I understood it, I don't think it was his mistake. Someone else made the mistake. Or he gave them the wrong details, sorry. He gave them wrong sort code, so it went to a different account. And that person who got the money, what they started doing, because they were pretty broke before, they started spending like crazy. They spent on things that couldn't be recovered too. Like they were buying like crazy fancy dinners and alcohol and, you know, holidays, and like they were trying to spend this money like it was burning a hole in their pocket, if you want to speak in old-timey words. But also, it's Toy Cat with a Tommy gun, a Tomcat. You know what? We don't like the word Tomcat over here because of the autocorrect. But I think it's just I think it's super interesting. Also, thank you, Wanderer, for the poppers. I'm gonna have some great poppers tomorrow. I'm gonna love it. Every time I get poppers, I'm like, these are mediocre. But then I also crave them constantly. It's the saddest thing. I just, you know, I need Papa John poppers. I'll have to order those. That's the only way I can be happy. This chat's so wholesome. We're so all strangers across the world, but when Toy Kit goes live, we group together. Doesn't matter against race or gender, we're still people here. I agree, Lumbago. I'm cool. It's very wholesome. I like it. Oh, we need those. We need those dead bushes. I feel like. Yeah, we'll keep them. Okay, so now we want to go back across the world with my paper. We'll get some more paper first, actually. You know, I don't spend enough time farming my sugarcane, do I? You call them poppers, though? I know that is a gay term. Oh yeah, I know about the drug that's called that too. That is a thing. That I learned about that from one of my teachers told me about how she'd take them, and you know, actually, story not safe for the internet. That was the same teacher that got mad at me because I made a mockery of her democracy. She's like, you know, I put real effort into this, and you made fun of it with an unserious party. I wish I'd known politics. I'd be like, you know, the monster raving lunatic party. You know, anyway, I'm going very off topic here. So the guy spent the money as fast as he could, and then by the time he got the legal order to return it, like 80% of it had been spent, so they physically couldn't recover the money. And I found the story to be so interesting because what percent of viewers are male versus female versus other? So my regular viewers are like 80-20 male female. I think in streams it's more like 2/3 to 1/3, and that's something I've always wondered about. I realized how dark your sugarcane gets, and it makes me uncomfortable. Yeah, it's one of those things I want to find a fix for. But there's no... I think some glow lichen, I think those will do a real good job. Because they can work through... Actually, wait, can they work through non-source blocks? They might present some problems. Maybe I should put some glowstone up there or something. There's lots of solutions that we could work on. Anyway, so we're going to go deposit the obsidian, get that ready, and we're going to kind of finish up by saying that YouTube only shows male and female. Yeah, I always got to say, I'm not making some grand point. I'm just using statistics as they exist. I'm sorry. If you do not like statistics as they exist, please complain to YouTube and not your favorite internet cat. And rods or lanterns in the water. Yeah, I was thinking lanterns, but lanterns are so expensive. As I say as I fly past lanterns that load in first. I wanted to say there's something about that like, even though it's something we all just said we would do, hearing about it in real life and hearing about like that guy's inheritance being like basically stolen from him by someone who just claimed, oh, I thought the money was mine. I thought I just made a lot this month or whatever. Like it's infuriating. And it's interesting that like, oh yeah, you can admit that like your opinion is X, but also that X is bad. And it's not common that people do admit that. But maybe it should be, huh? Maybe it should be. I'm gonna go repair my tools. I like going to my book village to do that. Should I enjoy that? Another question entirely. But I'm gonna go. Lanterns expensive? Don't you just have a villager to get them from? Which villager sells lanterns? I guess, yeah, that probably would be cheaper than a whole iron ingot. I want to say, wait, you know, you're right, you can buy lanterns from villagers. Nah, they're expensive, though. It's going to be like, I'm not going to get as many as I probably want. Yeah, Mr. does not need an iron farm, can't afford lanterns. You know what? Don't be so rude to me, mister. I'm Commander Cody. I mean, you're right, and that's why it hurts. You're right, and that's why it hurts. That's just morally wrong. If you have random money that's not yours, you should return it. But, like, everyone here literally just said librarian. Everyone here literally just said that exact same thing, you know? Like, isn't that interesting? Like, here's an example. I think that people should pay for train tickets, but also I would have a... Oh, are my portals linked? Oh, I went to the wrong village. Darn. Oopsie. Actually, wait, while I'm here, I should sell some eggs or something. I'm not gonna bother. A up, mate. AM, British. You know, I can't even do it, Mr. Lumbargo Uncle. I'm sorry. Can someone please tell me what villager I need to know? It's a librarian, apparently. It's funny, I've been trading with librarians so long, I must have noticed and then forgotten about their trades. If it's not Giant Man money, I would keep it. I mean, I feel like the more the money is, the more you're tempted. So, like, I think that people should pay for the transport they use. I think, like, no one would ever consider not paying for a plane ticket because it's, like, impossible not to. But trains mostly operate on some form of honor system. It's like honor system, but if we catch you, you're in trouble. And if you think about it, that, like, honor system, but if we catch you, you're in trouble, is how the whole world actually operates. Like, committing crimes does not have a guaranteed chance of retribution. Instead, it's we trust you to do the right thing, but also sometimes we check to make sure you are doing the right thing. I don't know. I think about this a lot. Just gone to my librarian. It's an emerald for a lantern. They're basically... Wait, it's only one emerald? I thought it'd be like... Okay, you know, I'll buy myself a bunch of lanterns, okay? You know what, chat? Are you happy with that? Do you like that as a solution? Okay, so we're at a village. We're gonna do a bit of trading, then go to sleep. Ideally, we do that as fast as we can, but... So yeah, I think my shovel is the thing people are most concerned about right now. Here we go. Look at this. Sell some books. Get the shovel up. You know, maybe it's one of the possible trades of librarians. Or maybe these aren't librarians. I'm not sure which makes more sense. Where are most of my villages? Oh, no. Okay, that's fine. That villager didn't need a door, honestly. See, this is why I like operating in the day. But also, oh no, creeper explosion, so bad. My life is ruined. Let's just put that back together. Pick up the door. And then pretend nothing's wrong. Also, to get tax refunds, 6,000 USD, paying back the ticket tax. Which side? Remember which side your bread? Wait, what was that? Remember which side your bread is buttered. USA support cats. Love you the most. I do think it's true that I make more. I think more by a significant amount. More of my audience is US based than not. It costs like 30 euros to go to my parents' house by train, so I rather not pay considering I use that train twice a week. But like, you also admit that train has costs. Like, it's an interesting thing of like, sometimes when we think about morality, we don't think about how to do something, we think about how something would be ideally. And it's like, so if in an ideal world you don't pay for trains, but that doesn't mean that doesn't mean the train is free, it means the train is paid for elsewhere. And then it's like, do you agree that like everyone should be funding your trips to your parents? And it's like, ooh, those are pretty non-essential journeys, I think. Wow. You know, you monster, killing grandma. And anyway, you go down a long rabbit hole. And it's like, I know, like but also, it's, okay, so we're gonna grab a bunch of paper. Also, you know what, my librarians are not selling them, chat. Is it like a new trade, maybe? Or is it just really unlucky that I haven't encountered one? Also, I think I'm going to leave that on the ground for now. Yeah, we'll just leave the paper in a sugar box. Craft myself a bunch of books. Yeah, we'll just sell books for now. And then let's find some more villagers. Maybe I just missed it. Okay, there we go, lantern. Yeah, that is really good value, actually. That is really good value. I can only buy 5 at a time. That's probably my bigger limiting factor than anything else. Yeah, it's not common. Oh, there we go, second trade. So we sell them books and we get lanterns in return. That's not a bad trade, all things considered. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll make it, I guess. Or we're gonna trade for Aqua Affinity. I don't think we are. Or we could trade for multi-shot. Or we could trade for Aqua Affinity. Man, really, you're gonna sell it to me twice? That's a good set of trades you have there. I actually do like multi-shot a lot. I want to have a multi-shot bar. I know the title's meant to be simple, but it interested me. Haha, says Jake Blowlocks. I got you. Yeah, I want to get better at doing, like, stream clickbait. Like, I'll be honest with you. My intention is to grow on YouTube. I am not going to be ashamed about that. If I can find people who want to find me, there's my goal. That's what I want to do. But I have no idea how you get people interested in a live stream, because there's no one searches for a live stream, it just gets thrown at them. So how do... And, like, some of my live streams do appeal to people more. People click certain ones more than other ones. Why is that? How is that? What is that? I don't know the answer to any of those questions. But yeah, if anyone has a great idea about how I can title these live streams while doing absolutely nothing differently, then let me know. I don't think we have. Shouldn't that be everyone's interest? There is something, like, there's a lot of ways in which, like, yeah, doing, like, it's important to be XXY, etc. But like, I also think, like, sometimes we get too far down the rabbit hole of, like, shaming people for wanting to be, for lack of a word, successful. We're like, I can't believe you're doing the thing that leads to success, you monster. Personally, I'm not of the opinion that doing things that will make you successful makes you a monster. But some people, in the common parlance, do... You know, I'm just going to throw free there. Do have that take. So we'll give them both some bread. We'll see if they make a baby together. Well, sorry, but you need to show up on time. No, first of all, I don't think that's, like, you know, I show up exactly at the correct time. Thank you very much. Second of all, I don't, like, even though I should do that for unrelated reasons, it's not helpful here. It's like, you're just saying a thing that you also want, and it's like, but that's not what I was asking. I was asking, like, destroying a desert in Minecraft, and then 2 shocked emoji faces. Toycat does things in Minecraft while conversing with chat. Title of live stream, except the chat decides what I do next. That might not be a terrible idea. I mean, then I'd have to listen to chat, and I hate you, chat. I'm sorry. Not all of you, I'm just kidding. I mean, am I kidding, or is this an abusive relationship? Who knows for sure. Okay, so I'm gonna throw my rotten flesh in here. Don't know how I end up with so much of that, but I do, it seems. Grab lots of leather. Let's make some books. Let's make a bunch of books. I love books. They heal my weapons and stuff. So yeah, I think 10 lanterns is not bad. I think every time I'm here, I'm just gonna remind myself to buy lanterns at the same time. That's so cool that I can, like, do 2 things from the same villager in the same day. Like, just being slightly more efficient is good. It's a love-hate relationship. This is a parasocial abusive relationship. Get out of here, chat. I don't need you no more. Oh, there we go. More books. We sell books, and then we immediately buy lanterns, but we get experience for both sets of trades. So look how healed my my shovel is already. Where do all these villagers come from? Like, they seem to just be roaming around the land in ways that are unpredictable. Do you think the Caves and Cliffs update is missing anything? Says someone. I missed your name. I think the biggest thing it's missing is more cave biomes. I'm really worried. Like, this is one of my big worries with the Caves and Cliffs update. No, sorry, the Nether update as well. When they had 4 Nether biomes, it wasn't enough. Even 5 feels like, can we do, like, more than 5? Right now we've got 3 cave biomes and then default caves. I think we need more than just that. I think we need more on top of that. Anyway, I like your streams because they're so chill, so a crazy title isn't needed. See, but Burst Bubblegum, like, I'm trying to say, like, how would you get someone who already wants to watch it to find it for the first time? Like, you know the streams because you're like, oh, it comes up with that, you know, like, you know what you're looking for, right? How do you find it for? That's one of the challenges with streams versus other things that I don't have a solution for yet. I hope to one day have a solution, but that day is not today. I need to feed these villagers a bunch of bread, clearly. Because there's a lot of beds, but there's not a lot of villagers. We could solve that problem ourselves. Honestly, this village needs a lot of my attention. For now, though, my shovel's healed. My pickaxe is basically healed. And so we're going to get out of here. I'm going to leave the wood here, you know, just in case I need that later. You never know. Might want to craft myself some lecterns or something. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed today's live stream. They should have the red dragon boss that only spawns on the rarest mountain biomes. Oh, imagine that if there was a tiny chance. Yeah, that would be such a cool thing to find a dragon up there. It's never going to happen, but it would like, that would break the world if that. No one expects it, and that's why they need to do it. Anyway, today I had a lot of fun. This is my first like 2-hour plus stream in a while. I've been like super, like I hate saying I'm stressed about anything, because like, you know, it's like, what do you have to be stressed about, you know? And there's I don't wanna act like I think when you come to the internet, you don't want to hear about some problems there. So like whenever I'm like near the end of like where I'm at, it's like a thing. Wait, circle portals work? I tried this and it didn't work. You put a circle portal in front of a real portal and it looks like it's a circle one, even though it doesn't work. Mr. Jake Glowbox. It's a lot of fun. I'd recommend it. I don't think I have any other ones of those in my world. I want to show you. I have a lot of like quirky, bizarre builds like that. But for now, thank you all so much for coming along to today's live stream. I appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And I will probably not be streaming tomorrow. It's my brother's birthday, I think. And I'm something gonna go something. Oh god, see that lag there? That was almost enough to kill me. But on Friday I should be back. And if you're curious about my life stuff, and I like to pretend that you are, I'll tweet out tomorrow if I have the house thing confirmed. Thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.